Hello crafty friends, my name is Linda Dolke and I'm a demonstrator with Stampin' Up! In Australia. Today I'm going to be playing with some fun things that I really like. Our theme at the Global Stampin' Video Hop this month is paper flowers. So I'm going to do something quite simple but with a set that I just happen to love. It's the Queen Bee stamp set. And there is a matching die set that comes with it if you're buying it as a bundle. Absolutely gorgeous. It's got these cute little flowers. We've got some lovely leaves. We've got some cute little bees. Lots and lots of things going on in there. There's even a little crown, which is super cute, which cuts out the crown here on the front. But super cute set. So let's get started. I'll move these bits and pieces out of the way. I've already got my bits and pieces here, and I've got a white, thick basic white thick card base, so I'm going to fold that in half. This is A4 in measurement, and I've got half a piece of A4 that I'm now folding in half to make my card base. Okay, I'll set that aside for now. It's going to be going onto some, this is the hand, oh, I probably would need to put this up on the screen. I think it's the hand drawn, no, I better not say what it is because I'm not quite sure, but I will put it up on the screen for you so you can see what it is while I'm telling you that I don't know. All right, so today what we're doing is showing you lots and lots of different ways to make paper flowers. The idea of the hop is that you watch a video, any of the videos in the hop group, and then all the links and everything will be in the description below so that you can hop to the next video in the group. I'm just attaching this onto a piece of black. So the measurement on this is 8 centimeters, the stripy paper, 8 centimeters wide by 12 centimeters long. And my black piece behind is half a centimeter larger. So it's 8.5 by 12.5. Okay, so that's going to go on the front. It's going to end up going onto my card base just like this. And then I've got from the scalloped contour dies, I've got one of the beautiful rectangular scallop shapes, and that's going to go here in the middle of my piece. But first of all, I'm going to decorate it and have a bit of fun with it. So I'm going to start, I think I might just set that to one side. I'm going to start with some of these little bits of leaves here, and you can see that this is this lovely sort of, it almost looks like half a wreath, and I have used it before just as half, and then I had a butterfly up above it, which looked really nice. But today I'm actually going to make a proper wreath with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to position these here on my piece of this is grid paper that I like to use to help keep things straight, and I'm just going to make a circle, and I'm just going to sort of arrange it so it sits on itself, and that looks pretty good actually. So now what I want to do is I want to get some glue dots, and I'm just going to attach it lightly so it makes its kind of its own little circle. So let's put our glue dots, we'll put them in an area of the wreath that is a little busier, a little wider for the glue dots to sit under. I'll put one there, and I'll put one on the other side, just here in this area here. And I'm going to pop that just where I had it a moment ago. So it just, you can see it kind of continues the circle. If you're following the main stem, it continues the circle around. So let's pop that like that. Now it will stick potentially on the grid paper a little bit. So let's do something else, which is a really great way of working. And you'll have to excuse my silicone mat because it's seen better days. You can see it's got a bit of colouring here, but hey, it does the job. So the good thing about the silicone mat is that your adhesive won't stick to it. So then this one is going to go here. Okay, so I've got one under there already. So let me pop this right there. I'm just going to do it very lightly. I want to check that it's right before I push it fully into place. And I think that's looking pretty good. So yep, let's give that a squeeze, and we'll put one more of these glue dots on. So let me put one glue dot. It doesn't matter which one goes on top of the other, the three of them need to be attached together to make a full wreath. So it's a very simple little die, but it's so useful. You can, like I said, you can make wreaths out of it. You can make all sorts of fun things out of it. All right, so I'm going to pop that right there in the middle, just like that. All right, so it has actually got a few little glue dots behind it, but I'm going to add a couple more. So I've got like where all the leaves come together here, there's a bigger spot there to add a glue dot. So let me just use my take your pick tool and we'll add one right there. Sort of roll it up a little bit. Another one here. And I'm going to put several of them around so I can get a good bit of stick. Now, before I put this on, I'll give you an idea of what it's going to look like. I'm going to do something to the background of my rectangle before I attach the wreath. So let me sort of take my time. All right, I think I've got enough there. I've got one here, so you can kind of see where they are. That's going to be enough to hold it. So I'll just leave it there on my silicone mat for a minute, put that to the side. Now this is going to be, you could have this going portrait or landscape, but I'm going portrait today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this fun little, it's kind of like a grungy kind of text stamp. You can see it here on the Queen Bee set. It's actually my favorite stamp in the set. I really love it. Very, very useful. Now I'm going to be using a combination of purples. So I thought I'd go with Orchid Oasis. Oh, I nearly said the old color name. No, Orchid Oasis. And this one is Fresh Freesia, which is one of our supposed to be retiring colors. So we will find out next week which colors are going and which are staying. A lot of people love Fresh Freesia and they're hoping it's going to stay, but it is scheduled to retire. So all right, so I'm going to have my wreath is going to go when I put it on, not right in the middle. I'm going to have it sort of a little bit higher. Actually, you know what? I've just changed my mind. It's going to go in the middle. All right, so I'm going to have this. And you can see it kind of makes this grungy stamp. I'm going to stamp it a couple of times. And I'm going to stamp it off and do a little bit more. Stamp it off because I don't want it to be too dark. I want it kind of be grungy, just a background piece. And I've also got a blending brush here. And I'm going to use my Fresh Freesia ink. And I'm going to add some color to that just by taking the blending brush and just literally picking up the color. And I'm going to smush this around so it kind of is going to give me a nice bit of background here. And it doesn't have to be perfect or anything like that. It's just literally going to be background. All right, so it looks like that. All right, now I'm ready to pop this on, and I'm going to pop it very, very gently. Just like this. Now, if it's a little bit messy with some of the overlapping, so you can see this is overlapping and sort of flapping around, we could, if we want, we've got a couple of choices. Whoops, that has stuck there. Told you it certainly is sticky. When we put it onto this piece, which we might as well do now actually, I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of this. So I've just got some standard dimensionals here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I think I'll put one in the middle because we don't want it to sag. And I'm going to take my backings off. And I'm going to turn this over. And I'm going to position it. Just going to bring my head in a little bit. I hope it's not in the way. So that it's as close to in the middle as I can possibly get it. There we go. Just like that. All right, so this is how it's looking. Now, like I said, you could, if you wanted to, get rid of these extra flappy bits if you didn't want them, but I'm not worried about them because I'm going to be using some flowers over the top of this. So I've already cut these out in the interest of time, so you don't have to sit there and watch me cut them out, but I'll just show you there's 2 little flower dies in this Queen Bee set. This is the larger one here and the smaller one, okay? And we can play around with these. I've cut a number of them. And you could just attach them, all right, and they would look really pretty. But I think they need a little bit of work, all right? And we can do a couple of things, a couple of fun things with them, all right? They look nice with something added to the center of the flowers. So that could be color. You could use, for example, there's Fresh Freesia blends. You could add some Fresh Freesia blend to the middle. And that just starts to make it look a little bit more, a little bit less two-dimensional, okay? So gives it a bit more life, so there's that possibility. It does look good. Another option is you could use a sponge dauber. So if I grab a sponge dauber here, pick up some colour from my fresh freesia, or I could go up to the darker colour and go put the orchid in the centre, and I'm just going to very lightly turn that around. I think I prefer this to the blends because it looks a little bit more natural, but the blends are faster. All right, so that's how that looks once you start to do that. The other thing is some of the flowers look nice doubled up. So you could put one on top of the other and have the one at the bottom. So make sure you position it. You put glue dots between the two and put it so that it's like a double layer, okay? And then you can have the top petals kicking up. So let's do one of those. I'm going to use my glue dots again for this. And I'm going to, there are so many ways to make different types of paper flowers in both your card making and scrapbooking and other products, projects. But I want, look, to be honest, I'll be really honest with you, I was looking for an excuse to use this set. And I thought, you know what? That's okay. I can use that. Now, I've also got, I'm going to pop those up. Can you see now how this becomes a little bit even more three-dimensional now? And we can use some basic rhinestones like these ones in the middle to add a little bit more bling, and they're very, very pretty. Or you could use basic pearls. Those would be nice as well. Now I am going to use my Take Your Pick tool just to remove the bling. Makes it easier and helps me position it as well. All right. So this is what this is looking like now. I hope you're liking that. I think that's really pretty. So if I end up putting that up here where this double up is, all of a sudden you can't see the flappy bit. And if we attach it with a glue dot, that's also going to push the flap down as well. So let me just add a glue dot to the back of that. And I'm going to just pop those top petals up, and that looks really, really pretty. All right, so let's play around with a couple of others and do a couple of other little things. I think having a couple of these would be really nice. Now I use the same size flowers there. You could also use a smaller flower in the middle, and that would look really nice as well. So if I use a little bit of color in the middle there, I'm using fresh freesia on fresh freesia, and then use a glue dot behind that. And pop that in the middle of this little guy. And then we'll put a glue dot behind. And once again, let's pop up those little petals. So you can have either the two that are the same size, or you can have a smaller one in the middle. And then I'm going to use another, actually for this now, I think I'll use the same size. This is the medium size rhinestone from the iridescent rhinestones. That's really, really cute, right? Here's something else that you can do. You can take your little flower and you can fold it in half. Now, when you fold it in half, make sure that the petals go in between the petals at the top, so it looks like it's going to be like a flower that's kind of curved up. This time I'm going to use my, which way will I go? Yep, this way. I'm going to use the dauber, and I'm going to add some color to the bottom of the dauber. Oh, sorry, of the flower. And that looks really pretty. And then I'm going to put a glue dot in between those two layers. So I'm going to put a glue dot in the middle of my flower there and fold it so that it's going to stay in that position, okay? And then I'm going to put another glue dot behind the whole thing, and this little flower is going to look like it's kind of semi-closed and it's going off in this direction. So you can have the flowers doing different things, which is really rather cute. I've got a couple of smaller ones, so I'm just going to, the smaller ones, it's actually easier to use either the light or the dark fresh freesia and add some colour behind those. That's easier because they're so tiny. The Daubers are a little bit small to do this, but if you prefer to use the Dauber, you can. But I just find it's quicker and easier to use the blends in the center of the little ones. All right, so I'm going to pop a couple of these on. Now I'd like another one of these doubles. Let's pop that right there. And I think it needs another bit of bling. This time I'm going to use a small one. Maybe another little guy over here. I'm not going to put anything right in the bottom, because in the bottom I think I'd like a bit of ribbon. So, so I'll keep that free. Now you can see I've got mine all sort of equal distance apart. You do not have to do that, okay? You can have them all over the place if you like. It really doesn't matter. And all right, and I'll do this last little guy. Put the little gem in the middle of that. My glue dot on behind that. So just bear in mind where your overlapping is with the leaves, and sometimes you might want to position your flowers so that they are exactly on top of like some of those little bits of positioning. Okay, so I have got some of the Fresh Freesia open weave ribbon. I've already tied, I found actually when I was getting ready for this, I found one I had left over from another project, so I don't even have to tie the bow. So that's a bit lazy, I know, but yep, you'll just tie a bow. The open weave ribbon is great. It's exactly the right color, of course, because it is the Fresh Freesia, but if you don't have it, that's okay. Use some white seam binding ribbon or a soft white ribbon and color it with your blends. And that's really easy to do. All right, so let me just pop this here at the bottom. Okay, and on the back we're going to have, sorry, I've just got family arriving in another part of the house, and so of course they don't know that I'm doing a live, and they're not quiet, so you'll have to excuse them. That's family life. All right, so it's my teenage, well, actually one isn't a teenager anymore, but sorry, they're a little bit noisy. All right, so let's pop this right here so it's centered in the center of this. It's looking pretty. All right, so it still needs a greeting, and I've got here a little tag that I actually got from the same set. So it's this little tag here, and you can see it makes this lovely, and I thought this would look really nice in the middle. You can see I've actually got nothing to do with bees today, although I did think about, we could, if you like, I might stamp this little bee and have him flying off somewhere. So let me see if he's going to fit in anywhere. I think I'll go with the darker color now, the Orchid Oasis. And I've got this, oh, will I or won't I? You know what? No, I've changed my mind. I'm going to go with the lighter color, and I'm just going to stamp Happy on my little tag here. I'm just going to test when I put a stamp onto a shape like this. I test it first by stamping it as straight as I can on my grid paper to make sure that the stamp is actually straight on the block, so you don't actually mess it up. Mine is lovely and straight, so I should get away with just stamping as straight as I can. But if ever you do that and it's not quite right, you'll know how to adjust it. There we go. So we've got Happy here, just like that. But Happy by itself, I actually wanted to say Happy Birthday, and I've got I didn't want to use, there's no birthday in, well, there is a birthday in this set, but it's too big. I wanted to mix my fonts. So I like a large font and a small font. So I'm going to use the birthday from this stamp. Now this stamp is from the Enjoy the Rhythm set. You can see the happy birthday right there with the drums and the guitar. So I'm just using the birthday. And I don't want the happy, I just want the birthday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my my markers. I've got a Orchid Oasis marker, and I'm going to, this is not the blends, okay, this is the Stampin' Write marker that is water-based, so these are different to the blends. And I'm just going to colour in the bit that says birthday. So this is the same ink as what is in an ink pad. I'm being very, very careful not to get any on the happy, I just want it on the birthday. And I'm going over it a couple of times. I find these markers work best with cling stamps. Much better. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this here. I've got a piece of paper and I'm just going to put it down near the bottom and stamp the birthday, because that's the only bit that I coloured in. So you can see there is no happy, we just got the birthday, and it's a little bit crooked, but that's okay because I'm actually just going to cut this with scissors. So I'm going to go nice and close to it and I'm going to cut around it. There we go. Just like that. And here we are. Now I'm going to pop this on dimensionals. So I've got two. Sorry, my chair's a bit squeaky today. Sorry about that. If you like watching these kind of videos, you may well enjoy my Sunday night and Friday night live videos that I do every week. So I've got a happy and I'm going to pop my birthday right there next to it. So I've got like two different fonts. So I'm going to, for this one, I'm going to use mini dimensionals. Actually, I don't actually have mini dimensionals close at hand. So what you can use is I hang on to these edge bits when I finish a piece of, a sheet of dimensionals. And that way I've got them handy and they're very, very useful for putting on a strip like this. So let's pop them behind that. You can see I've just added that there. I'm going to take the back off it and I'm going to, now you can keep it straight, you can have it on an angle. Deciding which way do I prefer it. I think I prefer it straight, and I'm just going to pop that kind of to one side there. So now it says happy birthday in my two different fonts. And there you go. I have a finished card. I hope you like that. And I know you're going to love all the other projects that the other hoppers have done this month on their videos. Oh, I did say, didn't I, that I was going to maybe add a bee. Do you think we need to add a bee? Let's just quickly have a go at that and see if it would look good. So I've got this little tiny weeny bee. I'm going to stamp it in Memento ink, which is the black Memento. And I'm going to stamp it on this little white piece. He's very cute, isn't he cute? I think he would be really nice to have maybe in here somewhere. We could also have him sort of out, but I kind of like the idea of popping him near this corner of the happy birthday. So I'm going to colour in his little flower, and we're going to use I'm going to use my Fresh Freesia for that. So I'm going to, actually I'll use my Skinny In because it's quite tiny. I'm going to add just the Fresh Freesia to the petals. I'm not going to colour in the whole bee, I'm just going to colour in the little flower. And I'm thinking, ooh, should we add, what shall we add in the middle? I could add the darker, like the Orchid Oasis in the middle, but I'm tempted to go with another colour. I know that there's no other yellow anywhere, but I'm just thinking that might look nice. I think I'll just go with a soft yellow. So I'm just going to go with So Saffron, just to add a little bit of colour there in the centre. You can barely see it. All right. So now I'm just going to grab my cut and emboss machine and we're going to cut him out. All right, here I go. Just going to pull this in. I've got my base platform. I've got my lower plate. I'm going to put my bee on here, and I'm also going to put on the die from my set. There he is. Let's line him up. How cute is he? Isn't he cute? Love the little flower. Right, so let me put this through. And then I'm going to just wind it through. It goes through very easily. If you would like to have more tips and ideas, then you'll find me doing live videos every Friday night and Sunday night here in Australia. So that might be a little different in whatever time zone that you're in. But I think you'll really enjoy it. I have lots and lots of tips to share. I do think I like the bee. So I'm going to pop him right there. And I'm going to whack a little dimensional behind him. Mini or a normal one. A normal one fits just fine. And let's... oh, that's the back of it. And we're going to pop that. So it's right there. And now it's a finished card. I hope you love it. Don't forget, chase the description below so that you can see what is next in the hop. And we've got more paper flowers for you and some lovely ideas to help you create beautiful, beautiful things for yourself. Thanks for watching with me today. And thanks for joining our Global Stampin' Video Hop. Bye.